Bring it. Oh, man.
Hello.
All right, we're going to kick this off. Man, you caught us in rare form. It's losing sucks. It's Dustin. It's Travis. It's week 16. We're headed into the semifinals nowadays of the fantasy football playoffs. And we're here. We're having a great time. We're covering all the positions, matchups you're going to need to know, heartaches, heartbreaks, whatever's going on. We've got guys that you're agonizing over, guys that you need to not worry about. And then, of course, we're ending the show with the big picks. Travis advises me that he's got some nasty would you rathers on tap for us tonight. He's a dirty Santa Claus, and we're going to move on through the show just like you need us to. Travis, how you feeling, man? How was Cabo? Tell me all about it. You returned. You got a nice little bronze to you.
This is the first day that it hasn't been a full peel. I thought to myself, I only have 2 days here. I'm going to get a sunburn. And I sure did. My whole body looked like the top of this Santa hat.
Love that.
About 48 hours ago. But we're back. We're tan. We're ready for Christmas. The wife is 30. Mexico was amazing.
Love it.
I might have to buy a place there. It's just so magical. Dustin,
Yes,
you
sir.
have two of your sons playing tonight in
I
a
do.
prime time matchup.
My beautiful baby boys are playing. Little Trevor and Travis. Excited to see them go out there and do what they do. You know, they're just so athletic. They love the game so much, and they're just.
Will
gonna
they
hand it to
win?
The Jets. Of course they're gonna win.
Projected
course.
score.
I think the Jaguars are gonna beat the Jets. 26 to 14.
26-14. You're only giving Zach Wilson, the Milfinator, 14 points.
The Milfinator 6,000.
14?
Yeah, 14. Now, look, he's lucky I don't give him negative points. Okay,
I'll give him 20. I'll give him 2
Wow.
touchdowns and
You
2
know what?
field
That's
goals.
okay. Look. I get excited. Okay, I get excited talking about my guys, and it's the Jets. They got a good defense. 26 is probably a little steep, but the Jags are gonna
24-20. Jaguars win.
Okay, that's a little bit more realistic, yeah, rather than the 12-point spread I was putting on it.
Last time you did a double-digit spread, you were drastically wrong.
I'll be honest, I am terrible at giving like spreads and like how like general like covering of points or how many points. Like I don't know what a good amount is.
You're emotional. It's okay.
I am emotional.
Emotional
That's how I play the-
damage. Dustin,
Yeah.
run us through what we're talking about tonight other than the
Yeah.
Jets and the Jaguars, which
Of course.
there's a lot of fantasy matchups that people
There
will be tilting hard after
Yes.
this game.
The theme of tonight, the leading into the semifinal matchup, most likely in your leagues, are look. We're making this entire show about the make or break matchups right now. That you're looking at your roster. You know, there's injuries. You're having to adapt. You're having to hope for a lucky play. We're here to guide you into some players that are kind of on that cusp of, you know, they're not going to be your general just. Oh, you're 100% going to start Amon-Ra. You're going to start, you know, Justin Jefferson. These are the conversations. These are the guys you're actually having to look at your roster and think, am I starting this guy or do I need to look somewhere else? And that's what this show is about today.
Really well introduced there.
Of course, man. And yeah.
How about Daniel Jones kicking us off? The Duke Blue Devil,
Yes, he is.
Minnesota.
Yes.
3 of the last 5 weeks inside the top 12 quarterbacks for Daniel Jones.
Yes.
341 yards versus a porous Detroit defense. What are your expectations for Daniel Jones? Who are some comparable players that you are comfortable starting him over?
Well, there's going to be a few more quarterbacks that we covered that I'm excited to put him up over. But Daniel Jones, man, I expect him. You're going to get the passing yards. So a great game for Daniel Jones in this matchup, especially with the weapons he has. I expect him to throw over 250 yards. But it's the rushing, okay? It's the
That's a lot
touchdowns.
for him.
It is a lot for him. But the Vikings cannot stop anyone. And when you look at the weapons that they have, Patrick Peterson, you know, anyone else on that in that secondary, who are they covering? Who are they covering that's definitively making that offense worse? Because a guy that we're also going to talk about later in Darius Slayton, they're going to get open, okay? They're going to be able to find. They're not just going to be able to shut down Saquon Barkley the entire game. This is an offense that can move the ball because they have mobility and speed at the different useful positions. So I'm going to go with Daniel Jones. He's proven that in matchups, against poor defenses, like you mentioned with Detroit, he can take advantage of those defenses, and that's why I'm excited to start him over guys like, lesser mobile guys. So you're talking about
Tom Brady versus the Cardinals.
I'm starting Daniel Jones over Tom Brady. I'm starting him over Mac Jones. I'm starting him over Derek Carr. I'm going to start him over...
Why over Brady? Why over Brady? Brady coming off a 20-point day versus the Cardinals, who are terrible.
Sure. So my main thing is that secondary for Arizona has not been terrible. Okay, they're more susceptible against the run than anything. But also that offensive line's banged up. The pass rush for the Cardinals has actually been improving the last couple of weeks. So I'm not out on this Arizona defense, and that offense for Tampa Bay has a lot to prove to me. The connection with Mike Evans hasn't been clean. Chris Godwin has missed some opportunities. Tom Brady's been a little bit off when pressure's been able to get there. So I don't think that this is exactly a perfect game script for Tom Brady.
This is a decision I'm having to make in our home league.
Sure.
Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, or Tom Brady. Right now I lean Tom Brady. More to come on the GOAT later.
Of course.
But Dustin, you say Daniel Jones. Talk to me about Gardner Minshew now that Jalen Hurts has officially been ruled out.
Right.
And what feels to me, as I said on Twitter, I feel like he's going to ball out in memory of Mike Leach, his buddy and coach.
Wow. Yeah.
Does Gardner Minshew just let it absolutely fly?
I think Gardner Minshew, I want to answer your question absolutely, but I think Gardner Minshew is underappreciated, undervalued, and he's slept on, quite frankly. There were many teams that were interested, Carolina Panthers being one of them, in acquiring Gardner Minshew prior to him signing back with Philadelphia. Philadelphia knew what they had. They wanted to see what they had in Jalen Hurts, but their contingency plan is a stable and at times prolific Gardner Minshew. Look, in 2 games last season that he started for Philadelphia with the worst roster, no A.J. Brown, banged up Devonta Smith, he was still a quarterback 10 one week, and he was a quarterback 17 another week. Okay, put him in this high performance, sports car of an offense, and Gardner Minshew is going to give you. I think he's going to be a top half of the league. I think he's going to be somewhere around quarterback, 12 to 15. I think he's going to give you enough to, especially in your super flex leagues, and you need a quarterback. This is a guy you can plug in and feel confident about, and that's why I like him as a fill-in.
He will rush for 30 to 40 yards.
He does move.
Nobody
absolutely
talks about it, but he's giving you an extra touchdown just with his legs.
It's also kind of interesting for Miles Sanders as well. But Gardner Minshew, I think he's definitely going to be enough to buoy you to whatever the replacement value is. I'm probably a little bit higher than on Daniel Jones than I am for Gardner Minshew, but it's not by a ton. Based. Yeah, it's 100% matchup based. Yeah.
All right,
Dallas
Jared Goff. Quarterback 4, quarterback 17 the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
Last week's performance versus the Jets, which was QB 17, that was always going to be tough. Everybody expected that. The Jets are pretty tough against passing, running. They're just a good defense.
True.
Where do you have Jared Goff as a replacement for Jalen Hurts compared to guys like Trevor Lawrence versus the Jets tonight? Dak versus Philadelphia, Zach Wilson versus the Jags tonight. You laugh at me including Zach Wilson in that group.
Sure.
He's coming off of a 317-yard, 2-touchdown quarterback 9 week.
He is.
Versus a pretty easy Jags secondary.
For fantasy, he's been absolutely... look, the Jags have given up big games. Carolina, though, on the other hand, they haven't exactly been the best against for quarterbacks. It's more the running game.
Right.
So I'm not as high on Jared Goff this week. Look, J.C. Horn is no joke. That guy moves around. He's going to shadow Amon-Ra, okay, which isn't exactly to say that he'll 100% shut him down, but make him less effective. They're going to have to look elsewhere. So I expect DeAndre Swift, who is now off of the injury report, and Jamal Williams to be a bigger factor. this offense has been spreading the ball around, and Jared Goff is an underrated asset, so I'm still going to keep him in the top half. Again, I'm not flipping him out for, I've got him above I've got him probably right around Gardner Minshew. I'd probably go Gardner Minshew over Jared Goff this week. I would, because I think that the game plan...
QB4 before the Jets.
Yes, because both of these teams are going to have to move the ball on the ground, which is going to take up more clock. Look, if the Lions don't hit a big play, then you're kind of hoping for a lot of passing yards, which again, Carolina is in the bottom, they're one of the better teams against fantasy points for the quarterback position. So again, it's the running back position that kills the Panthers, not the quarterback. It's very similar situation to the Houston Texans.
I actually prefer Jared Goff to Trevor Lawrence this week.
Ooh, man,
Trevor Lawrence tonight versus the Jets. I hate Thursdays.
Yeah,
I don't like going against the Jets defense.
Look, someone's probably watching this or listening to this right now, and they've got the question, do I start Trevor Lawrence or do I go Jared Goff? I'm sitting here telling you cannot sit Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Right now, I not for Jared Goff. Jared Goff has had, like you said, the last 3 weeks he's been a top 5 QB a couple of 2 of the last 3 weeks. But this matchup, I'm okay moving away from Jared Goff in this matchup and going towards Trevor Lawrence. In this,
that'll be interesting to see. We'll know tonight
for sure. I'm excited to watch the game.
What will be required of Jared Goff to beat Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Let's move to running back. Kareem Hunt versus the New Orleans Saints. Kareem Hunt has been a complete non-factor. Nick Chubb is ruled in. He has been deemed healthy and will be he says, a full workload this week.
Wow.
Do you see Kareem Hunt getting 10 to 15 touches? Are you buying Nick Chubb and the coaching staff saying he's 100%?
I think Kareem Hunt.
That's right. You're a big fat phony. That's right.
I can't buy into Kareem Hunt. Looking at his numbers, it made me gag. I was kind of into him when, Nick Chubb was going to be out, probably looking at 15 touches. Now we're probably looking around like 8, 8 to 10 maybe.
So you're out.
I'm out. 100% out.
Don't put him in.
Do not put him in. Don't get cute. The Saints are actually middle of the pack, which means could be a great game against the run, could be just an okay game against the run. I'm not taking Kareem Hunt anywhere right now. He's off my radar.
All right, Deion Jackson.
Yes.
From the Colts, you were telling me on the show sheet that he could see 15-plus touches.
Yes.
I don't see it. Zach Moss was heavily involved.
Yes,
I don't know that I can really touch either one because we don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. It's also a Nick Foles-led offense, which I think will actually be fairly steady.
Sure.
But we don't know what that means as far as which running back he's more comfortable with, if he's dumping it down, if he's letting it fly.
Yeah, we don't know. But what I can tell you is that Zach Moss does not catch passes. I can tell you that Zach Moss got 25 carries last game because for most of the time they were up in that first half just trying to kill clock and move the ball. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game, Deion Jackson was more involved. It's a closer game, and they're facing a Chargers offense that is going to score points, and Deion Jackson he's going to have 15-plus touches in this game.
He's going to have, not he might have.
No, he's going to have 15-plus touches in this game. You need to feel good about Deion Jackson moving into this game. We've seen it from him before this year. He is a much better athlete than Zach Moss. He'll be splitting touches, but I still think 15 and hot hand approach, Deion Jackson gets going. And caveat here, you need to pay attention to this. Los Angeles Chargers are about the worst team in the league. I think they're either second or third worst against the running back position for fantasy points. Deion Jackson, look, if you're missing Jonathan Taylor, you don't have another option, I would go Deion Jackson. So Deion Jackson is who I'm going with, especially in any sort of PPR league.
All right, Deion Jackson or the next guy, Latavius Murray. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is more of an obvious play coming off of a RB8 week last week.
Sure.
Now gets the banged up Los Angeles Rams. What do we think is a realistic stat line here? And compared to guys like Devin Singletary, Brian Robinson, DeAndre Swift, are you confident in Latavius Murray compared to those guys? And we'll include Deion Jackson in that choice.
No, I'm not confident in Latavius Murray. I think that we've also seen work from Marlon Mack in this game. Brett Rippon can't really move the ball. The Rams.
Russell Wilson is back.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He
All
is
right. So, awesome. That gives them about half a star more confidence from me, which brings them to 1 full star. No, having Russell Wilson there does not change my mind. Latavius Murray could get volume, but I don't see him. You noted here, Swift or Brian Robinson or Devin Singletary. I would take him over Devin Singletary. But Brian Robinson, Swift, I'm taking both of those guys, even Robinson against San Francisco.
No way.
Yeah, for sure.
We've done this before.
We have done this before.
San Francisco is a no-go. Kenneth
It
Walker just gave you single digits.
Look, let me tell you what I have to understand here is that I have to either say the Rams offense, which I have 15 games of proof that they have been putrid, or the Washington team who has been able to move the ball. Okay, granted, San Francisco is amazing at defense. I'm taking my chances on Brian Robinson being able to fall into the end zone.
Over Latavius Murray.
Over Latavius Murray, yes.
Why?
Because, all right.
When you say the chances he falls into the end zone, those chances are incredibly small.
I don't think they're as small as you think. I really don't. He sees a lot of work. I really like Brian.
What reason do you have to believe that anybody's falling into the end zone versus San Francisco?
Look,
matter of fact, when's the last time anybody fell into the end zone against San Francisco?
That's a great question.
2017?
Oh my God! Come on,
Brian Robinson over Latavius Murray, who just gave you an RB8 week.
Brian Robinson had 20 fantasy points last week.
He did not play San Francisco.
He had
Latavius Murray had 20 fantasy points last week and does not play San Francisco.
I don't know, man. I think Brian Robinson's going to be good. I'm okay with
what does good mean? Kenneth Walker just gave you single digits. You don't think he's better? You don't think that offense is better than Brian Robinson?
Hold on. Let me look, okay? Let me pull up some numbers, okay? You're asking me a question here.
This is an easy one, Dustin.
Is it?
One of them's playing San Francisco. One of them is not. I'll go with the one who's not.
I think Brian Robinson
So you're saying
fine.
San Francisco's benching all starters until the playoffs?
I'm not gonna say that he's.
That would be the only reason why you would choose Brian Robinson.
No. Brian Robinson. Look, I'm looking at his carries right now. Okay, I'm looking at his carries. He had 20 carries last week. Okay,
I don't care about last week. I want to know versus San Francisco.
He's going to.
Why you think he's gonna do well?
Because look, you're asking me it's him or Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray doesn't have just the easiest matchup either, okay? The Denver offensive line has been the worst offensive line in the league. Okay?
He just had 20 points. He was RB8.
And who were they facing? Who were they facing?
Brett Rippon was their quarterback.
And is that an argument for yourself? You're saying, "Oh, thank God, Russell Wilson's back."
Compared to Brett Rippon, yes.
No, it is going to be Russell
24 carries for 130 yards and a touchdown and 12 yards through the air versus Arizona.
Congratulations.
25 touches, 142 yards and a score.
I think.
And he does not play San Francisco.
I have said my piece. Russell Wilson returns.
Oh, no! We suck again!
And that's where we're at.
How many games are you going to pick a running back or a team versus San Francisco until you say, I'm not doing that again?
I understand what you're saying. I do. I really, really do. I hate the Broncos offense so much.
You hate the Broncos offense more than you hate playing against San Francisco?
I'm just looking.
I was looking at trading away Josh Jacobs in a dynasty because he has San Francisco week 17.
Yeah, I get it.
And I don't want 8 points. We got some questions to answer. We will come back to this.
All
Dustin,
right. All right.
Get into the comments. Give the people some answers here. Don't tell them to start Brian Robinson.
Oh my gosh! First of all, thank you, Eric, for jumping in the comments and commiserating with me
I think this is the first time for Mr. Finkston.
that B-Rob is good at football. Okay. Ben comes in and says that 15 is the floor for Deion Jackson. I agree. But let's talk. Kenny Stay Trill, appreciate you dropping in a comment here. He says, start 2 full PPR, Latavius Murray, Najee Harris, Raheem Mostert, or Tyler Algier.
I've got my answer.
Oh, my God. All right, so I know you're going to start Latavius Murray. He needs 2 in a full PPR.
Yes.
Okay. Let me pull up my NFL schedule here.
I'm going Latavius Murray and Najee Harris. Both will touch the ball 20 times.
Pittsburgh has Las Vegas. I am all for that. So it's probably going to be Najee for me. And, you know what, with Jeff Wilson coming back, Tyler Algier, who does Atlanta play
I don't think
this
Jeff
week?
Wilson practiced.
You don't think he was limited? He was limited. 16 Baltimore for Tyler Algier. Not my favorite. Oh, God, sorry. I am going to have to go with Najee and Latavius Murray here.
And Kenny, if you are against Latavius Murray because Russell Wilson is back, I'm okay with you going Najee and Mostert, but I would go Latavius Murray and Najee because I know they'll touch the ball 20 times. Blurpy.
All right.
Choose
Blurpy,
one at the flex. ETN, Zonovan Knight. Oh, you got little time to make this decision.
All right.
Jerry Jeudy or Mike Evans. I'm guessing you get one. That would be Travis Etienne for myself.
Okay, going ETN there.
I also have DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver too, so I could choose to put one of those receivers there, and I would. I do not trust DeAndre Hopkins whatsoever. I have benched him in a lot of leagues myself. I will go Mike Evans there.
Oh, God. Mike Evans makes me sad.
You
this
can't
week.
physically say Jerry Jeudy after what you just said about the Broncos.
No, I'm in on Evans there.
Okay.
That's tough. Not ideal, but yeah, I don't love this Broncos offense. Looking at Jeudy though, he hasn't been awful. I mean, the target's got to go.
No, he's
I'm
been
just saying, touchdowns wise, that offense doesn't score much.
Yeah, they go to Latavius. Well, actually, Jeudy had 3 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
Eric Finkston. Choose 2. Goff, Carr, Minshew, Foles. Easy for me. It's going Goff, Carr. What do you say, Dustin?
Choose to Goff, Carr, Minshew, Foles. Okay, for me it is going to be, what did I say? I said Goff is not there, so Minshew over Goff for me, and then I would go Goff. Yeah.
What?
Choose 2, Minshew and Goff.
Right. Who are your 2? You said
Yeah,
I would
I
not go
said-
Goff, and then you said I
No,
would go
that's
Goff.
what I said. I was putting them in order. Sorry. Minshew and Goff are my 2 out of there. Yes.
So Minshew over Derek Carr.
Minshew over Derek Carr. Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right, back to the show. Since that's what we're here for.
That is what
We
we're
are
doing.
now at wide receivers. Brandon Cooks returns to the mighty 1-win Texans.
Is he going to play? Does anyone know? What are we
He
doing
is going to
here?
play. He's practiced in full. He is ready, he says, to come back to 20 targets versus Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll
Tennessee
see.
has been the worst team in the NFL against wide receivers.
Just stop right there. Worst team in the NFL. Perfect.
They're going to be bad. It is now the Malik Willis show.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
34 points per game allowed to wide receivers. We know that Davis Mills loves Brandon Cooks.
He does.
We saw
They
it
are in
over
love.
the course of a season last year.
Tails all his time. Yeah.
I think Nico Collins is still hurt. This feels like 8 catches, 80 yards, and a score.
I would not be shocked. I don't know how much volume they're walking into. He has struggled with volume in this offense. I don't know that I'm just going to hop in and give them 80 yards because I think the incompetence of both of these teams knows no bounds. But I think this could very well be a game where the Tennessee Titans just tried to smash the clock. And I think they'll be able to with a mobile quarterback and Derrick Henry. I try to stop Derrick Henry. You tell me how to do it. And watching this Houston Texans defense, who has been the worst against the running back position, I don't know that the Texans have enough to take advantage of a league worst passing defense. So I'm not just going to give him 8 catches and 80 yards. I think I'm going to have to see it from him. He hasn't played a little bit. He's a little bit banged up. This offense sucks. So I would fire him up as a flex because it's Brandon Cooks, and I don't know
Or
what your
3
other
receiver
options are.
league.
Yeah, 3 receiver league, he could be your third. But the other guys we're going to talk about, I may be more interested in them than Brandon Cooks.
Do you think you could stop Derrick Henry by shooting him in the leg twice?
Oh, my God.
Like if Brian Robinson came back, I think it was like 5 or 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
How long would it take Derrick Henry to come back from getting shot twice in the same place?
He would have already pulled the bullets out of his leg because it's made of steel.
So less than 5 weeks, he would have been back already, putting the team on his back.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So if you're playing him next week, are you trying this strategy?
If I'm what? Are you asking me if I would shoot Derrick Henry?
I didn't say you had to do it. I just said he has to get shot in the leg.
Oh my God, no! What?
What the hell is even that?
Darius
Why?
Slayton versus Minnesota, 10, 6, 8, 3, 7. Those are his target totals in the last 5 weeks. He has played.
Yep.
Is this what you want to see from Darius Slayton? To play
the target
him?
totals?
Yeah, 10, 6, 8, 3, 7. Is that enough for you to have confidence?
Against a league, all that tells me is that he is going to get some work. He's going to get at least 6 to 10 targets is a possibility against the Vikings. I think in him being the go-to target for the Giants offense, I think that's what you want. I think you want the top target in an offense against one of the worst passing defenses in the league. So I'm there. I'm there for it. Yes, that is what I would like to see from Darius Slayton.
I'm not out
Brandon
on
Cooks.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. We'll get to another Giants receiver here in a minute.
Yeah.
A Manster 23, probably 23 because of Michael Jordan's jersey. That's a pretty popular
course,
thing in
yeah.
our generation.
Yeah, 23 is the goat of all numbers now.
Kirk, I'm guessing Christian Kirk or Bam Knight. I feel Jets will run with the weather. Dustin, what say you? Let's assume half PPR since it is technically the most popular form of scoring.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going Bam Knight. I think Christian Kirk is going to be heavily looked after against this tough New York Jets defense. So I'm gonna go with Bam Knight here. Oh, full PPR. Interesting. Okay, still Bam Knight.
I knew that was coming. Oh, thanks, Bam Knight. I will go Bam Knight as well. I think he has a better chance at a touchdown. Touchdowns are king right now.
They are. Yeah, you need touchdowns to win your matchups here.
Let's talk about somebody who does not score touchdowns.
Yeah, let's talk about DJ Moore. DJ Moore. I'm not thrilled about this matchup. Okay, yes, he's against the Lions. That should be happy. We should be smiling. We should be all sorts of good feelings. But the prospect of you're likely looking at him getting about 6 to 7 targets this week. He's been alternating games, of 30, +% target share. And if we fall true to that kind of logic and patterning, this is going to be a down week. And at the end of the day, like you can feel optimistic. I'm giving you permission to feel optimistic, to put him as a flex and feel decent about it. Because at the end of the day, it's an offense that's going to probably be down in this game and will need to throw the ball. And if there's an offense or one of the defenses that you want to throw the ball against, it is the Detroit Lions. A lot of teams have had to throw the ball because they're having to keep up. So chances of him catching a touchdown.
Do you think they'll have to keep up with Detroit?
Well, Detroit's been one of the higher scoring offenses in the league. So I think there's a possibility. Again, I'm not sitting here
But
saying
you'd still take Daniel Jones over Goff.
I would, because that is the worst defense in the league. Against passing. But
Noah
yeah,
Bonecutter has a question specifically for Dustin.
Such a good name.
I hope that's your real name. If that is actually your last name,
I hope
that's pretty badass. Flex,
so
T.
good.
Higgins, Alvin Kamara, or Christian Kirk. We might differ on this. I just went against T. Higgins last week. It cost me a semifinal matchup in the Diamond League. And if I score the most, Dustin, this week and next week, that will haunt me forever. Because that one decision will have cost me that ring.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
he said that is his real name. Oh, that's cool.
That is badass.
That is
I love the name
badass.
Noah, and Bonecutter's pretty fucking sick.
Oh God, that's just hold on. I just need to. That's cool. That's up on the screen. That is.
That's a new
flex.
trick.
Higgins, Kamara, or Kirk. Noah, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go Higgins here.
Okay.
That's my flex. He's going against New England. If they gotta choose which one they're taking away, I'm assuming they're gonna go Chase. Higgins could have a big game here.
I will go Kamara
Interesting.
because I think with no Chris Olave, with no Jarvis Landry, Kamara will touch the ball 20 times. That's just a lot of volume.
I'm
T.
excited
Higgins,
to break that down.
yeah, I think T. Higgins is great. New England matchup is not great.
Yep.
And we just saw Derek Carr and the Raiders really struggle to throw the ball against New England. So I definitely see Higgins being just fine. He's an incredible player. I just see Alvin Kamara touching the ball 20 times. I'm always going to err on the side of who's going to touch the ball significantly more.
Okay, that's
A lot
fair.
of times that is running backs. He's a star running back. There's no Mark Ingram. There's no Olave. There's no Jarvis Landry. At some point, it's like he's going to do something with all those touches.
Okay, that I understand the love for
I'm good
Kamara
either way,
there.
though. This is
Well,
a good problem to have.
Yeah, like I said, Higgins for me. Go with what your heart tells you, Noah. But that's where I stand, man. Let's talk. Let's move on to a sleeper pick in that same game that you're talking about. Wide receiver, man, a guy that I'm pretty excited about. You know, when a guy goes down, Chris Olave. You know, the de facto he was the wide receiver one. You know, when he goes down, you know, the question that you're going to have, like you just brought up, Travis, is it Kamara? Maybe it's a couple of the other guys we're going to bring up on the show.
Yep.
But Rashid Shaheed, okay, if you're in a deeper league, okay, PPR, whatever, but you want a guy that has big play potential and they have been using him consistently. I'm not saying he's going to have he hasn't had big volume, okay, but last week he had a 22% target share, and now Chris Olave's gone. He has been making big. Speed is the name of his game, and that is exactly how you get big plays. They use a lot of different guys. You know, sometimes it's Taysom Hill, sometimes it's Juwan Johnson, Kamara, but Rashid Shaheed, that is who you want if you're in a deeper league and there's crumbs left. If he is on your waivers, if he is someone you can pick up and plug in over a guy that you have no confidence in, you're just left starting him. Rashid Shaheed is the kind of guy that can blow up and help win you a week on one or two plays. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's a sleeper pick I really like this week against Cleveland.
I agree with you.
Love that.
We have a Would You Rather. Out of nowhere,
Oh, man.
I have a question for Dustin and all of our listeners.
Perfect.
I would prefer that you answer in the comments and not to yourself out loud where we cannot hear you. Dustin, I would like for you to answer out loud.
Okay, I can do
Would
that.
you rather find $100 floating in a public toilet with pee and poop on it, or $5 in your pocket?
I'm going with the $5.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 5. I don't want poop and pee on my hand.
You can't clean that off?
You're going to clean the money off?
I didn't
'Cause it's
say-
still
I didn't say
It's
you
still
have to
gonna be
grab
wet.
it with your bare hand. You can fish it out with a paper towel or something.
And then what? What? How long?
Throw
am I
it in
having
the
to stay
sink, run water on it. It's $20. It's 20 times more than what you can grab in your pocket.
What am I going to spend that on? That I'll feel
$100 is life-changing money. $5 is not.
Absolutely. That is the most expensive disease I'll ever catch.
Okay, let me ask you this. Does it matter what the contents of the toilet look like?
Are we talking about are they solid?
Like
Are
if
they-
it's fairly minimal, but they are in the bowl. Are you ever willing to take the 100?
I'm gonna go with the $5.
You're saying you would basically pay $95 to not have to do that.
No, I would take $5. I'm not saying
You're saying I'm
that
plus
was-
either way.
Yeah, I'm getting money. Like one of them, I don't have to touch.
Ben has a great comment.
no.
Chances
God.
are that $5 once has been in a stripper's asshole. This is also a possibility.
It's
So then
yeah.
that brings me to, if you might be touching poopy money anyway,
Oh man,
wouldn't you want the one that's worth a lot more that you know you got to clean?
one of them has literal poop on it. unless somebody just like wiped their ass with the 5.
You don't know that they didn't. With the 100,
I would be able to
know
tell.
you cleaned it.
I would be. I feel confident in my ability that I would be able to look at a $5 bill and be like, "Huh, there is shit on here." Like,
So you're saying that every time you get change, you inspect it and smell it to make sure there's no shit on it.
where are these questions coming from?
You're saying you're so
No,
confident that the money that you have in your pocket doesn't have anything on it. I didn't guarantee
I
anything.
am more confident. I'm more confident that looking at the $100 bill that is literally in a bowl of shit has more shit on it than something that maybe at one point, at some point in the past, maybe has been in the vicinity of poop.
Okay, we'll
less
disagree
poop.
here. Dustin takes the clean 5. I take the dirty 100 and clean it myself.
Oh my God!
As we move on to Richie James, we will come back for a
Rich
second.
James.
A second would you rather here in a minute.
Rich James.
Richie James, wide receiver 22 over the last 5 weeks. Shocking
Yeah.
stat, Dustin. 3 top
Wild.
24 weeks in the last 5 weeks. Will he be touchdown dependent? Absolutely. Anybody on that offense actually is. But will they be also trying to keep up with the terrible Vikings defense? Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to be
10 to
worse than-
14 points. You're in for that?
in a PPR league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could be in for that.
6
I
for
think I'd be in for
60.
that.
5 for
Yeah,
6. 5
yeah,
for
I think
65.
so.
That's
I think,
fairly
look,
easy.
that's-
Touchdown puts him in the top 20
In
again.
terms of confidence, Eric, I'm so sorry I failed you. I do not have a Rick James drop.
I'm Rick James, bitch. There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have failed. I am so sorry.
It's Christmas, okay? He's busy cleaning shit off his money.
Yeah, I have to do that. I
Terry
have stacks
McLaurin.
of it.
Oh, we get to ask this again? I can't wait. Terry McLaurin
no.
versus San Francisco.
Here
Should
we
we
go.
just avoid everyone against San Francisco?
No,
DK
you
Metcalf, who we both agree is much better than Terry McLaurin, was wide receiver 38 last week versus San Francisco.
We get it. San Francisco's good. Okay.
Are you playing Terry?
I don't know that you have a much better option.
How about Richie James?
No, I'm still playing Terry.
Rashid Shaheed?
Yeah, I'm playing Terry.
Brandon Cooks?
Playing Terry.
All right, so you're just going to accept 3 for 45 and no score. Really disappointing logic here because we have
Oh my
15 weeks of
God.
data saying
Oh my
don't do it,
God.
but I'll let you continue to do it.
Okay. This guy, we got Nostradamus over here.
We
Knows
don't
everything.
play against the 49ers, and therefore we advance to the semifinals. It's very simple. Amari Cooper versus New Orleans. Terrible. Terrible.
That simple. It's not
Since
that simple.
Deshaun Watson has returned. Let me read these to you, Dustin.
Okay, you do
His
that.
last 3 weeks: 6 points, wide receiver 55; 5.2 points, wide receiver 59; 7.8 points, wide receiver 44. This is atrocious. This is
not
unplayable. Are you playing
good.
Amari Cooper?
Not in the playoffs.
You are benching
I think you
Amari
have
Cooper
to. I think you have to. I mean,
for
at
Richie
this-
James. Why is this so difficult? This bothers the shit out of me. You just said, hold on. You just said
Yeah.
you are in
Yeah.
for Richie James, 10 to 14 points, 6 for
Yeah,
65.
because it feels icky, Travis. Okay, you make me
Rings
say things.
don't. Rings feel great. It's okay to make these decisions.
This is a man that started Chris Moore over T. Higgins, ladies and gentlemen.
so
okay?
why are you okay? Amari Cooper is not T. Higgins.
No, he's not. But oh God,
So you're just gonna go with the bigger name.
in the fantasy playoffs, man. Like who am I more confident in? Okay, could this be the game that Deshaun Watson looks a little bit better? They're able to move the ball more. I can't sit here and tell you definitively because there's a solid chance, at least a strong 50-50 shot that Richie James goes 3 for 40, and that's what you get.
There's a 1 in 5 shot that he does that because he just did that 4 times He went
That's not
6
how
for
probability
60.
works. That just means that that's what happened the last few. I'm just
All
saying,
we
like,
have is history.
yeah, and Amari Cooper, he was wide receiver 8 with Jacoby Brissett, and Deshaun Watson comes back, and he's been rough. Okay, Richie
Rough
James,
or like losing your week rough?
yeah, he's had really bad weeks, like you said. That'd be, like you said, 55, 59, 44 in wide receiver finishes. That's nothing. You can't do that. So
let me add this up. You're in on Daniel Jones as a top 10 quarterback this weekend
yes,
against the worst pass defense,
correct.
Washington.
Yep.
You like Slayton, you
Yep.
like Jones, but you won't
Yep.
play Richie James, who's been a top 24 3 out of last 5 over Amari Cooper. Just
It's
because
bold. Okay,
if
you
it
know
happens,
what? Fine. If you're asking me and looking at the numbers, and if I have to pick someone that can win me the week, I guess I'll go Richie James. Because
I'm going
you know
Amari
what?
Cooper here.
Oh, fuck you, man.
I really would. I actually would go Amari Cooper here. I'm not scared of New Orleans.
Boo this man. Boo him. No, you go to hell.
Oh,
Amari Cooper.
hell no.
Oh, you know what? Oh,
Amari Cooper or
Emotional damage.
just going through the whole damn thing.
Say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into
just
it because
this
they would-
guy. Just this guy. He's okay over here picking me apart. Richie James.
I'm
Richie
building the
James.
case. I'm building the case. That is how trades get done with Travis.
I hate Travis.
You're like,
so
you know
much.
what? It makes a lot of sense, except, and then immediately you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What just happened? All right, Amari Cooper or DJ Chark versus Carolina. Adam Thielen versus the Giants. Drake London versus Baltimore. Rank those 4 off
I
the
can't
top of your
trust
head.
you. I don't even know.
I'm not giving you what I would do. I just want to hear yours.
Well, I'm sure you would go with, I don't know, not Terry McLaurin because he's facing San Francisco.
He's not.
Might as well get shot in the leg. Oh, you're facing San Francisco? Oh, you're dead.
Between getting shot in the leg, being named Tua, and playing against San Francisco, our whole show wrapped up. A year's worth of show wrapped up in 3 lines.
People are trying to watch Thursday Night Football, and you've done this.
They have to wait 12 more minutes for this masterpiece.
Adam
from Zach
Thielen-
Milfinator.
All right, if we're talking about this, Adam Thielen, I would start. God, I hate that you pick these guys.
These
DJ
are
Chark,
decisions people have to make.
Amari or DJ Chark? I'm gonna go Amari. Amari or Adam Thielen? I'm gonna go Adam Thielen. Amari or Drake London? I'm gonna go Amari. So
So the only one is Thielen over Amari.
I would take Thielen over Amari, but other than that, Amari over those guys.
I'll go Amari over all of them. Amari's been terrible for 3 weeks. At some point, like you said, I think
lose you your matchup.
I think he has a good game. I'm not scared of New Orleans. It's time. Before we get to tight ends,
yeah.
we've got another. Oh, whoops! How about this one? Would you rather part 2, and then that leaves us 4 minutes for tight ends.
Perfect.
Dustin, would you rather look 10 years older from the neck up, or 10 years older from the neck down?
10 years older from the neck up, or 10 years older from the neck down?
Like your neck up and neck down are gonna look 10 years different.
Oh God! All
Which
right, I
one would
guess
you prefer to look older?
I would prefer the rest of me to look older. At least people see this and they're like, "Man, that guy's a good-looking guy."
The
You know?
baby-faced old man.
Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it. Bone Cutter, real quick, has a quick question. He says, "AJ Dillon, Mixon, or Lenny?" Interesting. I'm going Mixon there.
I'll go AJ Dillon.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go Amari Cooper.
Over Terry?
Let's talk about tight ends, okay? We've got Juwan Johnson, okay? Juwan John or Pat F. Travis, okay? Juwan Johnson over the last 10 games is tight end 3 in points per game with 10.4. He has been hot, spicy, en fuego, caliente, some other word.
Does Jawan Johnson score 15 points?
He scores 50. Okay, I'm starting him over Amari Cooper.
Wow, 50 points for Jawan Johnson.
I'm starting Jawan
Huge.
Johnson over Pat F this week. Yes.
All right, I would do the same. Jawan Johnson over the last 10 games, tight end 3.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
You might have already said that. I just wanted to repeat it because
let's go,
it is shocking.
Dawson Knox or Dallas Goedert, Travis. One of them has Gardner Minshew throwing them the ball, and the other one is facing the Bears. Who do you think?
Why didn't you say one of them has Josh Allen throwing them the ball and the other one's facing the Cowboys?
Because Josh Allen's the quarterback for Dawson Knox. Everybody, people know that, Travis.
People know that Gardner Minshew, after listening to this show for 45 minutes and 27
right.
seconds,
That's
is
right.
underrated and is a slinger and is playing for Mike Leach.
It's true. It's true. He did play for Mike Leach. I'm
Give me
going
Goddard.
Dallas Goddard here.
Me too.
I'm definitely going Dallas. You know what time it is, Travis? We did those. You know what time it is. It's time for the big picks.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, we're going to get these people in and out of the big picks. Let them get on to some Thursday night football. Travis, let's kick it off with quarterbacks. Who you got?
Tom Brady, the greatest to ever do it, other than Donovan McNabb. We hit the 20-point mark again with Tom Brady this week, I believe. I think we see more big volume. The last 4 weeks, he's had 43, 54, 55, and 44 passes. And he's completing a lot of them. So I think Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and maybe in a little Cade Otton versus the worst team in the league versus tight ends.
Spicy.
And Rashad White catches a touchdown, maybe for 20-plus yards. Just got a gut feeling that Tom Brady throws for 3 or 4 touchdowns and is a top 10 play on the week.
I love that. My quarterback big pick of the week is Daniel Jones. For all the reasons we talked about earlier, go ahead and rewind that episode and go listen to a bunch of the stuff we said.
Repeat everything.
Repeat. Watch it all. More views. We like it. Losing sucks. Don't do it.
Follow
Anyway,
us.
Daniel Jones. Follow us. Subscribe. Anyway, Daniel Jones is my big pick of the week. He is facing the Minnesota Vikings. We've gone through all this before. But what you may not know is Travis is drinking a beverage on this podcast. It looks like
A little
Coors
dry
Light.
throat.
Okay.
The mountains aren't even blue. I'm tired.
Oh,
of
man.
tired of
You ruined
choking
it.
on the mic.
But Daniel Jones, man, he's gonna run, he's gonna pass. 3 of the last 5 weeks, he's been a top 12 quarterback, including one of those weeks he's been the quarterback 3 against the Detroit Lions defense. One defense that is doing worse against passing options is the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to smash Daniel Jones in my playoff matchup this week. I am choosing him in a bunch of high-stakes leagues as well, so I feel good about Daniel Jones over some other quarterbacks. Like I said, I'm going to start him over Jared Goff. I'm going to start him over Gardner Minshew. I'm going to start him over
Tom
Mac
Brady.
Jones. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's a top 10 play for me this week, so I feel really good about him. If you're having to stream, if you're having to fill in for another quarterback, Daniel Jones is my guy.
Aaron Jones, same last name, different player, different race, different position. Green Bay,
All right.
running back. We got
Jesus.
we got some vintage Aaron Jones this past Monday night. 21 touches, over 100 yards, and a score, drastically affecting your first round of the playoffs. I think he goes top 5 this week in a bit of a shootout with Miami. I also like A.J. Dillon, but I think Aaron Jones has some explosive plays versus this defense. Packers win out, get in
All
the
right.
dance, and make some noise on the back of Aaron Jones.
Love that. Love that. My running back big pick of the week is Jamal Williams, if you can believe it or not. You're probably
Back
wondering.
from the dead.
Back from the dead. He's hot again, but he's back. Jamal Williams. Okay, Detroit has the second most fantasy points for the running back position this season. You may have forgotten that Jamal Williams has like 1 billion rushing touchdowns. Carolina has given up the 9th most rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns this season. I feel good about those numbers. I think Williams.
Holy cow.
I don't know who put that in here, but I'm going to roll. I think Williams scores 30 fantasy points this week. No,
Wow,
I think
that's
he's
bold, Dustin.
I think he's going to get a couple scores in this game. Like I said, I think it's going to be run heavy, and I think Williams is going to have. If he scores 30 points,
Big pick of the year.
That's
Big pick, at least big
I'm-
pick call. Of
I'm
the year.
tattooing his face on my shoulder. Like that's going to happen.
No, it won't. Deontay
no, it
Johnson,
won't. Go
my
on.
wide receiver, big pick of the week. 16 catches, 180 yards, and a touchdown over the last
Perfect.
2 weeks. That's what some people do, like Amari Cooper over the last 9 weeks.
Oh my God!
Steelers-
Don't you say his name?
Steelers have said, get him the damn ball in all caps. Another 8 to 10 catch day against a very weak Las Vegas defense. I love Deontay Johnson again this week, coming off a 20-point day. He will be in my DFS lineups.
Love
Vegas is top 10 in points allowed in the NFL. All weapons for the Steelers feel pretty safe here.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, good matchup for them for sure. My wide receiver big pick of the week is DeKalin Metcalf. DK. DeKalin. He is he is facing the Chiefs, okay, and he has a competent quarterback in Geno Smith. No Lockett as well, so sign me. Man, this dude has screwed me over on this sheet. Sign me up. Okay. Anyway, look, I
A
don't
little
care how
Christmas
good.
prank being played on Dustin here
I
as
don't care how
enter
good the
lines into his
secondary-
show sheet.
I don't know how many times I have to say it. Anything you put on that teleprompter, Burgundy will read.
Sign me up for hell. Big pick of
Sign
the
me
week.
up for an orgy with my what?
Wow.
Anyway, I don't care how good the secondary is for Kansas City. They're not going to shut down DK. The man's going to score 100 this game.
All right, my tight end big pick of the week, Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
This has to change. I am speaking it into existence. Back in the top 3 this week for Mark Andrews, right where you drafted him.
That's right.
Duvernay, Dustin, has been moved to the IR.
More like Dunvernay, am I right?
That is really well said by you. Atlanta giving up the 5th most points to tight ends on the season.
Hell yeah.
I am begging Mark Andrews to come back and have a very strong Final Four and championship week for everybody who spent a huge draft pick on him.
I like that. I'm going to go with someone we've already talked about on the show. For my tight end big pick of the week, it is Juwan Johnson.
I love it.
Look, this should be an Alvin Kamara game. However, the Saints don't utilize the running back position like they used to. They've actually got the 3rd or 2nd least fantasy points to the running back position this year. Dalton looks downfield, and I think the wide receiver 1 in this game is actually going to be Juwan Johnson, okay? I think he's going to score a touchdown. We've seen multiple touchdown games from Juwan Johnson. We've seen him be the go-to red zone target of Andy Dalton, and that's what I'm riding with in this game. Fire him up, feel good. He is not just a streamer. He is a winner for your matchup this week.
What would you pay for Juwan Johnson in Dynasty if you were currently starting Cameron Brate in the Final Four?
If you're starting Cameron Brate, look, if you're in the Final Four and you need that production,
Would you give up Darnell Mooney 1-for-1?
ooh, that is interesting. I would probably look to see if I can move picks for him, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You probably got a late second that you're going to have. I would go late second for Juwan Johnson for sure.
The Bears fan hanging on to Mooney. I love to hear it. I'm a Mooney guy.
For sure.
We are a recency
man.
bias league, but Mooney is going
Yeah.
to be really good.
He's going to be good. That offense is going to be improved. I'm glad we can end the
Dustin,
show
bring us
talking about
home.
the
Hey,
Bears.
we're about to kick off in 1 minute.
Hell yeah. It probably already kicked off. We already missed some. If you're already watching us, thank you so much for listening and watching. Go watch some football. Enjoy this weekend. Win your matchups. Get to the ship. Show us those wins. Tweet at us at Losing Sucks. I'm Dustin. That's Travis. We are Losing Sucks. Make sure you follow us. And as always, losing sucks. Don't do it.